Hi, welcome to 3 Spoonsful by Shweta Mehra. And in so many of my recipes, I've always been saying that you can serve this with some nice lachha parathas or with some naan or with some garlic naan. So today I thought let me share with you 3 different types of lachha parathas and 3 different ways of making them so you can choose what you love the best. But before we get started, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon and keep sharing and liking the videos. So to start off with, I have used maida, which is all-purpose flour over here, and it's a very soft dough. You can see it's very soft, it's very stretchy. The dough is made in the absolute normal way. It's just all-purpose flour, some salt, and water. I have kneaded this dough and then you leave it outside for around half an hour to 40 minutes. After that, I have started making the parathas. So let's get started. So let's make the first type of paratha. This is going to be the absolutely plain and simple lachha paratha. Lachha paratha is a flatbread, Indian flatbread with layers. You can make this using wheat flour or all-purpose flour. So what you have to do is take a ball of dough and flatten it first with your fingers, and then just take some dry dough and the dry flour and flatten it properly. If you're using whole wheat flour, it's not going to be so pliable. Whole wheat flour is a little difficult to work with. It's not undoable, of course, but the only thing is that you've got to make sure that you don't try and stretch it so much. So with all-purpose flour, you can stretch it a lot, whereas whole wheat flour is, of course, lesser gluten than all-purpose flour, so it does not stretch as much. So you can't do exactly what I'm doing with whole wheat flour over here. Just make this flat roti. It can be in any shape, doesn't really have to be round. Next, we are going to take some ghee, which is clarified butter. You could use normal butter as well, and let's brush it all over the paratha. This is a fairly thin roti that I have made right now. You can make it thinner as well, but this thickness works well for the layering, as you will see just now. After you put the ghee, you have to add a little bit of dry flour so that your layers separate out well, and then start pleating this entire roti like a fan. So these are called fan folds generally, and it's similar to what women make while wearing saris too. So these are the layers that will form when you actually make the paratha. So you can see the layers here. Just stretch it a little bit. Once again, do not stretch it like this if you are going to make this with whole wheat flour. This works well with all-purpose flour. Stretch it and then make a cute little rose out of it like this. And at the bottom portion, just tuck in the loose end. Now you have to do this. You can see the layers already, and then you leave it out for at least 10 minutes, just like that. If you're making more parathas, you could do this step for all the balls and keep it. After that, again, take the first ball, flatten it a bit with your fingers using some dry flour again. This ensures that the layers don't stick to one another. And then you can just take your rolling pin and roll it out again. So here you can see I'm trying to show you that the layers are nice. You've got to use a very light hand while doing this, because if you put too much pressure, then the layers will just stick to one another and they won't separate when we actually fry it or when we heat it. So here it is, it's all rolled out. I have just heated up the griddle. You can use a fry pan as well. I use my cast iron pan for this. And this is a traditional tawa that we use. One more thing to remember is the side that you tuck the loose end in, that side remains at the bottom even while rolling and even on the pan. So you do not switch sides while rolling this. Now you'll see that this will completely change color and once it changes color and you can see the layers start separating then, so that's when you can easily take it and turn it around and cook on both sides well. I'm adding a bit of ghee. This is optional, you could do it or you could skip this step completely, but you can see that this is entirely changed color, and now the sides will come off very easily and it won't break at all. So you've got to follow the same steps even if you're making all-purpose flour, completely wheat flour, or you use a half and half of both. So the layers have separated. Now let's turn this paratha and cook it on the other side as well. Once you turn it, just press it lightly like this. Because the more you press after cooking it thoroughly on one side, the layers separate better because the steam tries to escape, and that's how your layers separate and it becomes very flaky and very yummy. So here it is, the layers are separating so nicely and this tastes so yummy. Now that I've been cooking on both sides, you can see I've tried to make it a little crispier. It's because, I mean, everybody loves crispy, flaky parathas. So let's just finish heating it and cooking it on both sides. So you can see that the layers have separated on both the sides, not just on one side. This is the simple, easy way to make it. And that's it. The basic flaky lachha paratha is done. Let's get started with the second one. So we follow the same method. We take a ball of dough, flatten it a bit with our fingers, and then we start rolling it. Now to make this one, I'm just going to show you a different stuffing, but you can skip it and use this method and make a plain paratha as well. So this step remains the same, that we brush it completely with ghee or butter and then we sprinkle some dry flour onto it. Next I've taken some carom seeds, that is ajwain, and I've taken some red chili powder. This is a lovely combination. It just crackles and it's a very yum combination to have. I'm going to sprinkle this generously all over my paratha. Okay, well, I was not too generous, but yeah, you could go as generous as you want. And then you take a knife and from the center, cut across your paratha. This is like you cut the radius, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I remember my school days. And then you start rolling it around and forming this cone and completely roll it around. So then you gently pick it up and start flattening it while making sure that you open the edges with your fingers. So you can see this too has a lot of layers and it's going to be really flaky and nice. The rest of it remains the same. You give this rest too. You should rest it for around 5 to 10 minutes because that ensures that your parathas will be nice and flaky. The more rest you give your dough, it will ensure that your parathas are crispier, flakier, and just all in all very yummy. Flatten it gently with your fingers when you start working with it so that the layers they do not get stuck to one another. And then we do the same thing. We roll it with a rolling pin, but very, very gently and on one side only. The other side remains on the work surface. And then I'm brushing my pan with a bit of ghee and let me put the other paratha too. So here it is. You can see the carom seeds and you can see a little bit of the red chili powder on it. And once it's cooked, it's just yummy. Make sure that the pan that you put it on is really hot and nice. I've just sped up the video over here because you really don't want to see me just cooking the parathas for a long time. The process remains the same, that make sure it cooks well on one side, changes color, then turn it, press it so that the steam escapes and your layers are separated like this. Brush some ghee over it, brush some butter over it, or some white butter over it, because parathas taste yummy with white butter. And you can of course choose any one of my main course recipes and serve this paratha as well with it, and it tastes fabulous. So now let's get started with the third method of making the parathas. It remains the same. You just flatten it with your fingers and start rolling the roti. The first bit of it is all the same. And here is a huge big roti that I have made. Just for variation, to show you, I have melted some butter. This is regular butter. Added a bit of coriander and chopped garlic to this and some red chili flakes. So this is more like a garlic paratha that I'm making. Let's spread it all over. While spreading, make sure that you leave the edges clean. This is very important, especially if you are making something with butter and garlic, because butter is going to get really runny. So if you douse it completely with butter, it won't work well. So you can see I've left these edges quite dry. Now I'm going to leave that top edge of it, and then I'm going to start making these slight cuts and make strips all over this roti. Of course, this paratha too tastes amazing if it's made plain. You can choose any of these variations and use any method, and it's just going to be delicious. Do not cut it completely. Make sure that you leave the edges like this. Now what we need to do is we need to start rolling this on its side, and these cut out strips is what will make the lovely layers for our paratha. And while working with this, if you feel it's a little sticky at any point of time, just take some dry flour. Do not worry about it. If it tears a little bit, don't worry, because this is flaky paratha. You could just, it just gets covered up. So just be very confident. Now let's twist it all around. It's like you're making a twisty braid. Just keep twisting. And the side that was open, the side that was outside, is going to now go inside, and you start rolling from that side towards the side that wasn't cut. And then once again we tuck it down and flatten it, give it some resting time, and then we'll start rolling this. So here I am with my dry flour rolling this. You've got to be even more gentle while rolling this, because it's got butter, and butter is really runny. It's also got garlic, which is, if you're using garlic powder, that's fine, but if you're using whole garlic like I have done, it's just been chopped up, but you could still feel the pieces while flattening it. Now I've sped this up because you know the drill. So let's just roll it gently again on just one side. Making sure that the layers remain nice and separate. Here they are, you can see the layers. And then we'll brush the pan and put the garlic paratha to cook. So here it is, the garlic paratha cooking. It tastes lovely. This is one of my favorites. I mean, the filling, I use any method and fill it up. It just tastes as wonderful. So after it changes color, once again you can change sides and cook it thoroughly on the other side as well. Even with this, I'm going to lightly keep pressing it so that the layers separate well. And on this paratha, you can see these layers are looking so good, and the butter, when it melts, it just tastes even better. So with this paratha, what we are going to do is we are going to apply the same butter mixture on top, and then we'll just lightly cook it so that the garlic gets toasted a little bit on this hot tawa. And here it is, you can see these parathas are done. Serve them up or have them as is. You are sure to love them. If you've liked this recipe, definitely give it a thumbs up, share it and subscribe to my channel. Bye.